What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. This is episode number 30, and we start today's episode off as we enter the new month here in December 2014, and we take a look at our youth star, is that you? No, it's what is it? Scout Future Star. That's it. And he's doing okay. He'll be fine. Next season we'll promote him, and as things stand, we can see as a right back, which I would imagine is what his position will stay as. Because sometimes, or at least in FIFA 13, you get a player into your youth squad and you might change position, but it looks like he's a right back, which is okay. We've got Ed Nilsson, but then we don't actually have like a proper backup right back. I mean, we've got Alan Dunn, but it's like, yeah, I don't really want to use Alan Dunn in the Premier League, but hopefully he'll be okay. And here's a squad report as well, checking out how the players look. And as per usual, it's not that bad, is it? I mean, we're sitting in 14th in the table, 15 games in. Look at Arsenal, man. Seriously, what has happened to them? Yeah, it's not too bad. We're in the position I thought we'd be in at this stage, you know. I mean, we were never going to be like challenging for like a Europa League or Champions League spot. Mid-table was the best we could have hoped for, and at the moment we're 14th, so it's not that bad, really, is it? So we're doing okay. And the board then come to us and say that they've just had a meeting with Mark Beaver's agent, and he told us that the player has spoken to you about his wage and nothing's progressed, so therefore they've agreed to add Beavers to the transfer list. And I was like, well, no fucking wonder we haven't offered him a new contract, because you're not giving us any money. You know, give us some money and I will offer him a new contract. You know, I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. And then Padermo came to us and said, can you let us go out on loan? So I said, fine. He did go out to Derby last year, but he never played. But, you know, if he's happy going out on loan, we'll let him go. And again, we request some funds because, you know, we need some money. I asked for 2.5 million. We asked for 5 million, I think it was, at the start of the season, and they said no. So I've halved that, and hopefully they'll say okay. Although we're not in a transfer window at the moment, we do have two players with their contracts expiring, and they are both over 23. That's Josh Wright and Mark Beaver, so they could both get sold in January for free and then leave to their clubs next year. So we do need to sort of tie those down in terms of contracts, because Beavers at the moment is our first choice centre-back alongside Fabricio, and he's okay. He's 72 overall. I'd imagine he might get to like 73, 74 and then stop growing, which is fine. Yeah, Josh Wright, I don't mind if he goes, but he is 70 overall. It's not too bad, but yeah, it's like, you know, the board agreeing to add him to the transfer list because we're not, you know, progressing with his wage. I was like, well, how can you be surprised about that? Do you know what I mean? It's ridiculous. But anyway, for the first of two games today, we take on QPR. And this is actually a really, really big game because QPR, as you would have just seen by the league table, they're doing really, really decently at the moment this season. They're doing really well. Harry Redknapp's got them promoted, and they're performing really well in the Premier League, which is not a real surprise, to be honest, because as you would have seen last year, they've got such a good side, it's ridiculous, and they've also strengthened with it as well. Obviously, they've got players like Loic Remy back from loan, and they managed to keep hold of him, so they've got a really awesome side, QPR, and I came to this game, you know, not fearing the worst, but to be honest, you know, we've got QPR and Wigan in today's episode, so I thought that's actually quite a good couple of games, because QPR and Wigan were the sides that got promoted alongside us, so it'll be nice to see who's sort of strengthened the best and who's done the best business and who looks like the better club. But it was QPR who had the first chance of the game in the 23rd minute. Hoylett came through there and he put his shot wide at the post. What a great chance that was for Hoylett, just 23 minutes in, and a great chance for QPR to take the lead. But in the 28th minute we had a corner. It was towards Mark Beavers. His first header hit the bar, but it came straight back to him, and his second header went into the back of the net. So Mark Beavers, the guy who is yet to sign a new contract because we can't afford to pay his wages, makes a statement there, gets his first goal of the season, his first goal in the Premier League, and yeah, he puts his hands to his ears as if to say, you know, where's my new contract, docs? And I'm like, well, you'd be getting a new contract if the board would actually give us some money, so don't vent your anger at me, vent your anger at the board. It's ridiculous. But yeah, Mark Beavers isn't happy about the new contract, the lack of a new contract, I should say, and he makes me aware of that fact there, so I was a bit annoyed about that. But yeah, Beavers gives Millwall the lead. That was great news for us. Just before half an hour was played, we were 1-0 up here at Loftus Road, and a great start for us. But in the 37th minute, the ball comes to James Henry. Henry's onto the ball. A first time strike by our captain Liam Trotter is well saved by Julio Cesar. Good save by the Brazilian goalkeeper, and it's still QPR 0, Millwall 1, but a good strike regardless. And from the corner, he once again crossed the ball towards the head of Mark Beavers, looking for his second goal, but sadly the header went straight into the gloves of Julio Cesar. So still QPR 0, Millwall 1, and just past the hour mark we were still in the lead, but you see Nyland go for the ball here, makes a good first save, but then the ball comes back to Remy, and Loic Remy really should have scored that. It was a tight angle, yes, but he's a quality forward. He should have put that ball in the back of the net, but still QPR 0, Millwall 1. And in the 69th minute, Seb Larsson's onto the ball down the right hand side. Lovely ball roll, reverse step over to get past Anua. It then comes to Ojo. Ojo plays it back to Larsson, who runs through. I was going to take a shot then, but I thought, I'll take it wide a little bit and then try and put it into the bottom corner. And that's exactly what happened. That was a really nice piece of composure by Larsson, because usually I would have just smashed the ball on a one-on-one, and there would have been a good chance Julio Cesar would have saved it, or a defender would have put a block in. But instead, I decided to run a little bit to the side and then try and put it in with his left foot into the bottom corner. And it worked. It was a brilliant decision by me. Take him to the left and squeeze it into the bottom corner. So a great finish by Larsson. He's been a great signing as well, man. I'm so glad you guys weren't, angry with the fact I signed an experienced player in Larsson, because it's realistic. And yes, he was 1.6 million, and yes, he's on 20 grand a week, but he has been fantastic. He's now scored his second goal for us, and he's been really, really good. He's been a great midfielder and a great purchase. So he made it 2-0, but sadly, QPR did get themselves back in the game with 15 minutes to go. Adel Tarat got the goal. No 5-star skills by the Moroccan, but a great finish into the bottom corner. Really good strike. It actually went through the legs of Fabricio, as you'll see on the replay, and went into the bottom corner there. No chance for Nyland, but it was a great strike with his left foot there. I saw he's been downgraded to 4-star weak foot now. He's no longer 5-star skills and 5-star weak foot. He's now only 4-star weak foot. That sucks, man. Tarat was awesome for having that 5-star weak foot, but even so, he showed he didn't really need it. That was a great finish with his left, and that was a really good goal by Tarat. And sadly, QPR were back in the game with 15 minutes to go here at Loftus Road, so a great chance for them to get themselves a point as the game was being closed out. A wonderful strike by Tarat that brought up his second goal of the season, and as the game was being closed out in the 85th minute, Simpson was onto the ball there. It ends up going to Matt Phillips. Phillips rolls it back to Simpson, back to Phillips. Really good link-up play there. Matt Phillips crosses the ball in, it's towards Simpson, then to Charlie Austin. We just couldn't get the ball away. We made some interceptions, we couldn't get the ball away, and sadly it was Jack Robinson, our left back, who just seemed to dive into Charlie Austin. And sadly, no real complaint. I mean, Robinson was complaining, but I don't think you can really complain about that. He just dived into him, and it was a definite penalty. And sadly for us, as Loic Remy stepped up here, Nyland, he saved one penalty, but I wasn't really fancying my chances. And, well, as you can see what's going to happen here, it's a simple finish by Remy. I didn't really fancy my chances of saving it. I'm absolutely terrible at penalties. You guys know that by now. And, yeah, sadly, Remy sends Nyland the wrong way, puts it into the top corner, and QPR do go ahead and grab themselves a late equaliser, which of course would mean they'll go on and grab a point from this game. And it was a really frustrating penalty to give away as well. Robinson just seemed to dive into him. It wasn't debatable at all, and yeah, it was my fault obviously, but even so, Remy gets the goal, and I think that brought up his 9th goal of the season, so that's what a record Loic Remy's got. Out 6 goals, okay, but even so, Loic Remy's doing really well on his return to QPR, and that was a good finish there. But yeah, it did finish QPR 2, Millwall 2, so really disappointing. With 15 minutes to go, we were 2-0 up here away from home. It would have been a great result for us, and instead we throw it away. And of course, we're still yet to win away from home in the league. We still haven't won a game away from home. Our 3 wins have been against Sunderland, Aston Villa and West Ham, and they've all been at home. So that's frustrating, but not as frustrating as this. Once again, the board come to us and say, unfortunately, given your performance at the club, we are not confident at this time that these additional funds will bring success to the club. And I was like, are you serious? Given our performance, we have got Millwall into the Premier League. We deserve 50 million, let alone 5 million or whatever we asked. Well, that's 2.5. But even so, that's ridiculous. We deserve 2.5 billion if we're going to get Millwall into the Premier League. That's ridiculous. So yeah, I was annoyed about that. I mean, if they would have said, sorry, we've got no money at the moment, then fine. But given our performance, we've been brilliant. That's ridiculous. But yeah, the board won't give us any more money. We'll inquire again in January and just hope they'll say yes. But I don't see it happening. It's really frustrating as well because we did some great business on a shoestring budget in the summer, but for the January transfer window, I've been reading so many comments from people saying, sign this player, sign that player. We've got no money to work with in January whatsoever. And I mean nothing. Not even $1 million. We've got nothing. We've got absolutely no money whatsoever. We've got like 20 grand. We can't sign a player with £20,000. So, yeah, it's ridiculous. But in this game here against Wigan, in the second game of today's episode here, I made an absolute howler just 5 minutes in. Now, usually I'm so good at playing out from the back. I always do pass out from the back. I always feel confident in my ability to play it around the attackers and start a counter-attack. But that was an awful, awful pass by Nyland. It put us on the back foot. And sadly, well, it just had to be Nicky Bailey, didn't it? It had to be Nicky Bailey, of course. He was part of the side that helped us get promoted to the Premier League. We then sold him, and now he scores against us. So Really frustrating. No wonder Nyland's frustrated, because it was him that gave the ball away, but it was my poor pass, man. Seriously, I shouldn't be doing that, and that was a poor pass out, and it was Millwall 0, Wigan 1, so poor from me, really, and sadly Wigan are back on, Wigan are in front here, but in the 31st minute you see Jean-Marie get onto the ball, or Dongu, as it seems you guys want me to pronounce him like now. So anyway, Dongu gets onto the ball there, he beats Bailey, and he beats Shane Lowry, so he beats both of our two ex-Millwall players there, crosses the ball in, and Brian Carrasco, man, this guy is having an awesome start to the season, and even he's disappointed that Mark Beavers isn't getting a new contract. He's saying, Docs, what's going on, man? But no, it's Millwall 1, Wigan 1, and that was a lovely goal as well. Great pace from Jean-Marie, a great cross as well, and Carrasco, you know, he's a small player, but that's a really good header, and I mean, he was on mark, definitely, but obviously, but even so, he had to put it in, he did well there, so it's 1-1 here, and in the 45th minute, Jean-Marie goes down the right side again, or Dongu, as I need to pronounce him, because you guys seem pretty pissed off that I say Jean-Marie, I just prefer it, but anyway, he crosses the ball in from some great pace. Carrasco shoots, but sadly Carrasco can't get a second goal of the game. He hits the post, and it's still 1-1 here, but James Henry goes down the right hand side, crosses the ball in, again it's towards Carrasco, and again Brian Carrasco gets his head to the ball and puts the ball past Ali El Habsi. He's not a tall player at all, Carrasco, but two headers from Brian Carrasco makes it Millwall 2, Wigan 1, and we turn the game on its head, and we take the lead just before half time. So that was fantastic news for us. Once again, a great header by Carrasco after some nice pace down the wing, that time from James Henry. So 2-1 here, and he's seen Nyland make up for his error. Really good save there to deny, not sure who it was for running in there, I don't think it was Bailey, but it was still Millwall 2, Wigan 1, and in the 64th minute Wigan come through again, eventually the ball goes out wide to Espinoza, I think it is, and eventually he takes a shot and puts the ball wide. What a chance that was for Wigan to equalise there, should have scored, and he ended up putting the ball wide, but he's a free kick for Wigan, and it's Ramos who takes it, or Ramis, and he puts the ball miles over the bar, so a great chance from a dangerous position from Wigan there, but it's still Millwall 2, Wigan 1, and again Wigan come through, but once again Nyland makes a really good save and then grabs the ball. He was, you know, despite the error in the first few minutes, he had a really good game. And in the 90th minute, he also started a counter-attack. His throw-in came to Kim Ojo, I think it was. He found Carrasco. Carrasco back to Ojo. What a great ball that is towards Carrasco. He's onto it. Step overs around his man. Takes aim, surely to get his hat-trick. Sadly, no. It's saved by Ali Al Habsi, and the wait for a first hat-trick in the series goes on. But yeah, it does finish Millwall 2, Wigan 1. So I was glad to get the win. I really was. It was a difficult game against one of the other newly promoted sides, but yeah, I was pretty pleased. You know, it was good to get a win, and Wigan at the moment are struggling in the league, so it was a big win for us, and that brings up our 4th win in the Premier League this season, and that's fantastic news for us. And the last thing you'll see is the board come to us and say we're risking, we've got a risk of losing 2 players because they have their contracts expiring. I was like, well, no wonder, you're not giving us enough money to sign them on new deals, but it's just so frustrating at the moment. But as always, guys, big thank you for watching today's video. I really hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, please leave a like, so that's much appreciated, and it really does help my channel out, and it only takes a second to click that like button, and I will see you for the next episode of Career Mode very soon.